All right, I think this is going now. Of course, dog ain't barked all damn day. Okay, so this is from Screen Rant. Supernatural 10 Ways Mary Winchester got worse and worse. Disagree, but okay. While there are a great many things to admire about Mary Winchester, her new life in Supernatural didn't always bring out the best of her. Okay, I mean, she died, came back. That wouldn't really bring out the best in anyone, but okay. In the very first episode, viewers meet Mary Winchester in a flashback. Mary, in a white nightgown, goes into Sam's nursery groggy from sleep. Once she's there, she's killed by some mysterious force that only fatally cuts her. That not only fatally cuts her, my bad. Well, we know that force is Yellow Eyes, Azazel, and we know why he's there. Anyway, but pushes her to the top of the ceiling where she combusts. John, her husband, looks on helplessly as he tells Dean to take his baby brother and run. Okay. This Mary death is the reason why John becomes a hunter. Exactly. Not like in the Winchesters where he meets her and she's a hunter. He didn't know. But then again, maybe they're going to retcon and say Yellow Eyes made him forget everything when she made that deal. Anyway, Mary is the reason why Sam and Dean are raised to be hunters. For many reasons, Mary's death weighed heavily on the brothers, especially Dean. Amara, the darkness, felt that Mary's absence made Dean incomplete. And so she, in her goddess power, thanked Dean by bringing Mary back to life. Sorry, struggle reader. While there are a great many things to admire about Mary, her new life didn't always bring about the best of her. Yes. Funny. A crypt keeping Viserys. There goes that dog again, sorry. Oh, he's so desiccated. Poor guy. Anyway, she forgot her ghost life. That doesn't make sense because she was a ghost, and usually when most people die in their ghost form, they don't really remember the other side. So that's an invalid point. Okay. When Mary comes back to life, she doesn't remember her existence as a ghost. Why would she? That's a very invalid point. While viewers know that her early memories of Dean and Sam when they time traveled were okay. When they time traveled were erased by Michael. Okay, that is it me or is that a bad sentence? Whatever. I could just be struggling. There's never an explanation about her ghost memories. I swear that dog has not barked all day. When Mary was a ghost, she stayed in the old house. That doesn't make sense because she was a ghost. We see that pop up all the time. Why would she remember her ghost life? Anyway, then a case brought her sons to that old house and she protected them. Remember that episode when that ghost was attacking the kids and the kid got locked in the refrigerator? And that handyman. I think there was a Final Destination moment. Did his hand get caught up in the garbage disposal? I don't remember. She saw Dean and Sam and she remembered them. Nearly always a brave character, Ghost Mary actually used her own energy to kill the evil spirit so that she could save her sons. However, nearly mented Mary has no memory of this. She doesn't know her sons and has to be reintroduced to them. I can kind of almost see that point. Most characters who were ghosts at least remember a little. No. Not necessarily. So I can understand because she was dead, completely ghostly. So most ghosts usually tend to remember their life before they died. So, and that's why they're haunting because they hang on. So I don't necessarily agree with this point. But let's move on. Number 9. She wanted to return to the afterlife. Come on, really? We're going to fault her for wanting to go back to the afterlife? She was in paradise. She was with her husband that she loved. Her kids were little as she remembered them. But then she comes back to this reality, back to a life that she hates where she's a hunter, found out her sons are hunters, the life she did not want for them. Her husband became a hunter and died, trying to get Yellow Eyes to, exact his revenge. Like, come on. I would want to go back to the afterlife too. I mean, hell, there are times I wish I could go to afterlife, but that was back in the day when I was clinically depressed. Okay, can't falter. Mary's given an opportunity to know her sons and to do more with her life. Okay, I understand. Eventually, she comes around to accept this, but at first, she doesn't feel like she should be alive. Well, she died. She died. Like, come on. Mary is more than happy to go back to her afterlife where things were simpler. Well, you said it right there. Like, come on. This, of course, makes her sons feel abandoned all over again, like they aren't enough for their mother. Well, I understand their feelings, but you have to be, she died. She came back to life, and her sons are fully grown. Like, at this point, aren't Sam and Dean nearly like 40? So she missed out on like over 30 years of their development, their life. You know, she was happy with her husband. She comes back, finds her husband is gone, the love of her life. Her kids are an adult. She don't know them. Like, come on. She avoided Sam. While that sucks, I can understand why she would avoid Sam because he was an infant. And so she didn't really get to connect with him like she did with Dean. She had 4 years of Dean. So yeah, I can understand. And then Dean's more like her, you know? So I get that. While she didn't feel comfortable around either son, she especially didn't feel comfortable around Sam. She may have felt more comfortable around Dean because he was a little older when she died, meaning that she had more memories with him. She may also have been more comfortable with Dean because they are more alike. I do agree that they are more alike. I think I just said that. But she also is probably dealing with a lot of guilt because she made that deal with Yellow Eyes, which resulted in her death. And then Sam, her baby, had to grow up into this life where he didn't know her at all. And so maybe, just maybe, she doesn't know how to respond to him. She's packing a lot of guilt. Okay. When off on her own hunting, she didn't contact Sam. Even Sam noticed that Mary contacted Dean when she needed to communicate with them. More than likely, she avoided Sam because she felt guilty. I just said this. Her promise with Yellow Eyes Demon led Sam to being fed demon blood, which led to the catastrophic events. And I think her death was more likely, more daunting growing up by his mother. She slept with Ketch. That is the guy I couldn't remember when I did my last video. That bastard. Yeah. And there you go. You see him in the corner right here. All like, yeah, I had a good time. And she's looking a little walk of shamish. I mean, because he was kind of a douche in the beginning. And he kind of behaved like he didn't have a soul, but I don't know. And maybe he's just one of those people who don't really feel on the same levels as everyone else. I don't know. Ketch later became an ally to the Winchesters, but he was pretty horrible in the beginning. Yeah. A product of the British men of letters. Ketch without any moral judgment. I'm sorry, that made me laugh. He he did what was asked of him. Yes, he did. He did do what was asked of him. He followed orders with no question. Even if it meant killing or torturing an innocent person or colleague, Dean automatically didn't trust him. And he was right, because I remember Sam and Dean let go a monster, but she wasn't really a threat. It was like a teenage girl. And Ketch went behind her back and killed her, you know. And there was reporting that they were too soft, but they wanted to keep Mary, but get rid of the boys. And, even though Mary was standoffish to her sons, she ain't gonna let anybody kill her sons. I mean, come on, she's still a mother. Mary, on the other hand, may have been a little weary at first, but she came to work with Ketch. She told her sons that she needed to hunt alone for a while, but she hunted with Ketch. This led to her having a sexual relationship with him. Hey, get it where you can, girl. While it's likely that Mary felt out of sorts and was lonely, this choice grossed her sons out and many viewers as well. Anybody would get grossed out by their parents having sex. I mean, I know mine had to do it for me to live. I have a brother, I have several siblings. My brother and I have the same mom. So They did it twice, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care about all them other times. Don't want to know about it. So, yes, they would be grossed out. Anybody would. Okay, 6. She kept information from her sons. Okay, she's not allowed to have stuff to herself. There you go again. There's doggy. There's doggy. Doggy, doggy, doggy. Okay, there she's cutting her hair. I'm used to saying Sam and Dean, so when I see Dean's name first, it kind of throws me off. Dean and Sam know that Mary is out hunting and needed time to adjust. What they didn't know is that Mary was hunting and collaborating with the British men of letters. For some reason, she was secretive about this and kept it from her sons. That's fine. Later, she brought them on board, but this secretive nature caused some rift between her and her sons. I can understand that, but maybe she just wanted to check him out first before she brought her boys on board. You know, I'm thinking, she's a mom, she hated hunting, and maybe she felt if she joined them and how ruthless they were, that they can get these monsters, cleared out in no time and she can just live a life without hunting. Her boys no longer have to hunt. Like, come on, you're being a bit harsh here. And then the middle letters, the way they described their British operation, like they weren't no monsters. They made it seem, pretty damn awesome. Okay. It wasn't just the British men of letters that Mary was secretive about. She hid information from Sam and Dean. See, that's the way I'm used to seeing it. Later, this this improves, but for many episodes, she seemed weary of her sons. Of course, she just came back from the dead, and they're grown men now. When she remembered them as babies, that's just a normal human thing. Anyway, I'm sure she was happy that her sons lived and they grew up to be handsome and stuff, healthy, everything a parent wants, but she missed out on over 30 years of their life. Like, come on. And then finding out they became this lifestyle, like, oh, that episode when she cried and she found out. It was when Anna went back to the past to try to assassinate Mary so that Sam wouldn't be born and Lucifer wouldn't have a vessel. Half-cocked plan, by the way. And, she was crying and she was like, how can I do that to you? And Dean told her the truth that it was John. And he told her how she died and she understood it, but she felt so guilty. And and that was the episode where Sam and Dean were like, you have to leave dad, so they were not born. And Mary's like, I can't because she was already pregnant with Dean. So, it was already done. She preferred young Sam and Dean to present day. Of course she did, because those are the children she remembered at her happiest time in her life. Like, come on. When Mary was manipulated and controlled by the British men of letters, she went into her happy place. Yes, she did. And nothing wrong. She had a hard, sucky life. And only the little bitty moments of happiness, and you want to hold it against her. Really, Screen Rant? Really? In order to save their mother, Dean was able to join her in her subconscious. When he did, Mary was with young Dean, the Dean she remembered. Even though she knew current Dean was there, she tried to ignore him. Of course, she was happy. She had her baby. Like, God. Thankfully, Dean is pretty convincing, was able to wake her up, but it took a great effort to do so. Yeah, I imagine so. You put me in my happy place, and I have to go back to the sunken place. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work to get me to leave. She lost her spunk. Well, that she did, but life would do that to you. None of us are the spunky teens we were, You get jaded, life kicks your ass, and you keep it pushing. Anyway, Mary as a young hunter was memorable. She was spunky and energetic, that she was. On top of this, it was clear that she was intelligent, creative, and caring. The yellow-eyed demon noted how much he liked Mary. Yeah, he did. When Dean first time traveled and he saw her, he was impressed. Sorry, since it was a little tricky for me. Tell you, struggle reader. When Mary came back, she was distant and subdued. The spunk and charisma that pulled people to her seemed A distant memory. Well, yeah, she died. She was more of a shadow of her previous self. Of course, she died. She remembered dying. You die and come back and let's see how well you do. Like seriously. Come the fuck on. Number 3. She was easily manipulated by the middle letters. Yeah, she was hopeful. I almost give you that, give you like half a point for that. In so many ways, Mary was easily manipulated by the British men of letters. Many times she seemed to choose them over her sons. No, I don't think she'll ever choose anybody else over her sons. She liked that they gave her purpose, but she trusted even Ketch. For someone who was supposed to have good instincts, this was clearly off. I don't think she fully trusted him. Just because she slept with him doesn't mean she trusted him. I think Ketch was just an outlet to, for the loneliness, the frustration, the confusion. She needed to take it out on somebody. He was decent enough looking. Why not? Mary had been part of the long hunting legacy. She had stayed alive as long as she had. Well, she didn't stay alive that long before Yellow Eyes demon because she was smart. In this case, she wasn't smart and became a tool for their mission instead. Mm, maybe. They held a promise, and she probably, I don't think they manipulated it because Mary seemed pretty, I don't know, she pretty much knew what they were, you know. She killed hunters. There's no excuse for that. That is bad. Reminds me of an episode of the kid that Mary saved, and he became a hunter. I can't remember the names. I remember episodes. I can't remember the names. I'm sorry. And she was telling Dean when they went to his funeral, and he was like, wow, you were still hunting? While she was married to John, she would sneak out and go on hunts. She saved this kid. He was so inspired by Mary, he became a hunter and he got killed, but he wasn't actually killed by the animal that he was hunting. He was killed by another hunter. And this hunter went on to have uh, 2 twins that he didn't know were his, but the twins showed up at his funeral. And then male twin made a deal with a witch to take over his position, and he turned his sister who died into a golem because he didn't want to be alone and stuff. And then the mother of the dead hunter was like, I wish you hadn't met my son, but if she hadn't met your son would probably still be dead, would be dead. You know, at least he saved some lives becoming a hunter. But yeah, her killing, and I remember how the hunters treated that, like Sam and Dean was like, your blood in the water. They didn't like that he killed it and tried to cover it up. So yeah, it was pretty bad that Mary killed other hunters. I remember that. She was working with the men of letters, and all the hunters that didn't fall in line, she pretty much took out. There's no explanation for that there. That's just fucked up. Okay. The British men of letters made Mary into a tool to kill American hunters. They considered the American hunters unruly and a problem. Remember Henry Winchester said something similar? Are just men of letters, whether they are American or British, are they just stuck up and don't like hunters, period? Anyway, rather than an asset. Mary was a good hunter, but more so, they used her because people liked her, really liked Mary. Although Mary had been gone for a while, she was able to quickly connect to hunting community. Uh, Hunters would happily open the door to a smiling Mary because they would never expect that she was there to kill them. This, of course, wasn't really Mary, but what the British men of letters made her become. No, can't nobody make Mary become nothing. I don't agree with that. As strong as she was made to seem, she became easily manipulated. No, Mary's going to do whatever the fuck she wants to do. If you have not learned that, you really ain't watched the show. But anyway, she didn't live up to her hunter fame. Wow, that is mean. Mean. I don't know if I would agree that she didn't live up to her hunter fame because, majority of her fame was brought on when she was a kid and she was with her father Samuel. I mean, the woman died, and clearly she's living up to her hunter fame if she can take out other hunters. I mean, come on. Anyway, Mary is supposed to be a great hunter, and she is. I don't know why you're trying to discredit her with that. She was raised as a hunter, and her father taught most of what? And her father taught most of what he knew. Okay, I'm sorry. I must be stupid because that was a weird sentence to me. I know I struggle to read, but that felt weird. However, Samuel, her father, knew so much, including how to reverse vampirism, something that John never even knew. Okay, and why you taking shots at John? Crowley even praised Samuel's depth of knowledge. Why? Then does Mary seem to have a limited amount of knowledge? I don't know, maybe because she died and she left when her family, like really? Mary instincts aren't as strongly initially. Oh, that's clearly just me, my bad. Mary instincts aren't as strong initially. She trusts the wrong group. While this does change eventually, it also makes her seem not as good as a hunter as she is known to be and was throughout her early life. I mean, come on. The woman died. Like, shut up. Additionally, Mary becomes a damsel in distress for several episodes. No, that's not how I would describe her. Unless you're talking about that one episode with Abraxas, then maybe. Like she let Nick trick her and he found that puzzle box. Maybe that, I don't know. Okay. It gets better, but it takes time. For a hunter rumored to be capable as Mary, this was a strange part of her story. Not really. I mean, she died. She died.